Hello everyone and welcome to the Gathering Tools users channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Gathering Tools to replace all your Excel-based reporting. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure you enable notifications. As managers, this is a problem we all know. We need to monitor the activity of our network, and that means regularly collecting a whole bunch of indicators from our correspondents. And to design a reporting format, we've never found anything better than the good old spreadsheet. And that's where Gathering Tools is clever. It's a tool that will allow you to solve all the problems caused by spreadsheets without having to change your reporting format and without using Excel anymore. So, how does it work? Here is a document I built to manage the CSR reporting of my subsidiaries. It allows my managers to enter at the most detailed level the indicators that enable us to verify that they are aligned with the three objectives we are tracking. Reduction of water and energy consumption, and the effectiveness of our waste management. We compare each value with that of the previous year and we look at the evolution, which we summarize with three simple charts. I also take the opportunity to track the recommendations. In this tab, I list the recommendations to be implemented in their scope. Here again, we compare the current status with the last collected status. This little document is really well accepted because it provides a lot of information and especially because it was designed with my correspondence. It's not just a form to fill in. We're in a collaborative approach. You give me your data and in return, I give you a management overview. So in short, this Excel file is very simple, but it perfectly fits our needs. And we have plenty of Exchange files like this in all departments. So what does this process look like once it's moved into Gathering Tools? Well, look. When I log into Gathering Tools, I access my collection projects, and if I go into the CSR project, I find the different publications of the project. Each publication corresponds to a collection campaign or to a dashboard, because GT also allows you to publish dashboards that consolidate the collected data. But I'll talk about that later. If I open my latest collection campaign, I see that my publication contains 4 entities. In my case, these are my subsidiaries. For now, I see that only the UK has submitted its response. The other subsidiaries have not yet responded. So let's put ourselves in the shoes of a subsidiary correspondent. I'm going to log in using Barbara's account, who is the CSR manager for the French subsidiary. I see that she received a notification telling her she's been invited to complete a collection form. By clicking on the notification, Barbara accesses the list of entities under her responsibility. In this case, she only has access to the French scope. For each entity, GT creates a discussion thread that will contain all exchanges. For now, it only contains the campaign launch message sent by Marie-Laure, but all Barbara has to do is click this button to bring up the form. There, she will immediately recognize the document she knows by heart, except it's no longer in Excel format. She doesn't need Excel, and yet the document reproduces all the look and all the functionalities of the original Excel document: formulas, charts, formats. The difference with Excel is first and foremost the data quality. Gathering Tools allows me to create business rules that will prevent Barbara from submitting her data set if it is incomplete or inconsistent. For example, here the submission fails because suspended solids emissions exceed the legal limit. In my Excel document, this was just conditional formatting. With GT, it has become a blocking business rule. So with GT, the first benefit is data quality. You only receive compliant data. And if you want to go beyond document rules, you can also create workflows with multiple validation levels. The second major difference is the personalization of documents. Based on your central reference data, each entity receives only the data relevant to its scope. For example, in my case, each entity receives only the data for its own resource consumption, and only for the relevant period. Huge time savings for you, huge comfort for users. The third benefit of GT is the ease of managing the reporting process. For example, as soon as Barbara has replied, I receive a notification, and by going to her entity's discussion thread, I can find her response. I check it, and I validate it. But even better, I can display the key indicators of the forms directly in the discussion thread to know whether I should validate the response or not without even opening the document. And everything is managed in just a few clicks. Here I have one validated entity, one pending entity, and two that have not responded yet. In just 2 clicks, I can remind the non-respondents. I select them, type a short message, and voila, they'll receive a reminder notification, and their discussion thread will show my message. On my side, I know exactly when they were reminded. Finally, GT structures the collected data and stores it in a database. From this database, I can directly feed an analytics tool like Power BI, but I can also summarize the data I've received directly within GT. In my old Excel-based process, I had built this very simple dashboard that allowed me to summarize the data I had received with my main indicators and a consolidated history by subsidiary. Well, with GT, I was able to convert this Excel dashboard into GT format, sync it with my workflow, and publish it to my stakeholders. For example, if I open it now, I'll only see Barbara's data. But now that the other entities have answered, I can refresh my document, and it updates with the latest responses. So no more copying and pasting, no more exports, no more little scripts. Your processes are now reliable, automated, and the data can be directly synchronized with your company tools. Above all, your reports are now accessible anywhere, from a simple web browser, but also on your smartphone or tablet. And if your documents are particularly complex or heavy, then you can work on them through our GTAnswer application. With this app installed locally, you can work offline and benefit from advanced features. For example, GTAnswer lets your users export their GT document into a fully functional Excel file. This allows them to easily analyze their data, but above all, exported files can be used to provide data either through simple input or using formulas. Once the data is in Excel, GTAnswer lets users import it back into their form in just a few clicks, with no risk of error, even if its structure is different from your form. It's obviously a huge time saver for them. And of course, the response submitted from GTAnswer feeds the discussion thread as if it had been entered online. There are still many features we could go over, but the essential point is this: reporting with GT is really the best of both worlds. No change management issues for users since you can reuse your existing reporting templates. Customized documents. Each user only receives the data for their scope. Strong governance capacities with the ability to manage workflows of several hundred entities in just a few clicks. And above all, data quality. A repository of business rules ensures that all exchanged data meets your quality standards, perfectly tracked, structured exactly the way you need it. There you go. I hope this very quick overview of GT was helpful and that it made you want to learn more. To do that, I invite you to visit our website, our YouTube channel, and our other videos. See you soon.